Hello, today is Thursday, April 3rd, 2025. I decided to do a walkthrough of the garden today. I will be trying to keep up with the video diaries again this year because I really did enjoy doing it last year. So I want to bring your attention to the only thing that's really growing in here right now is the little violas, which are absolutely gorgeous. I'm so excited every time I come in here and see them. This is my first time seeing them bloom, but I have popped in here the other day and I just saw that there were, oh, there's a weed. I did see that there were little viola leaves here, there, and everywhere. I'm gonna have to come through and remove this stuff. I forget what this is called, but if you see these, they're awful. These little flowers will turn into shooting things, so if you bump into these, they will shoot seeds everywhere, and in a matter of a week you will have these things like all over your garden. Like they're a plague unto themselves. Okay, I actually was just back here to get some dirt and wanted to do this video because I thought this was really funny. So last year I had thrown some tulips in here that somebody had given me. Oh, here's more of these things I warned you about. Alright, so somebody had given me tulips. They weren't quite brown enough to do anything with. So somebody had given me these tulips last year. They weren't quite dead enough to do anything with as far as putting them away, so I just kind of laid them in rows in here, and I dug them out when they were dead. And I've apparently missed a couple here because I've got these coming up over here, and I've actually got one over here, which I thought was really funny because I just saw that this morning, and that might be a tulip or daffodil, I don't remember which, but I ended up not planting them in the fall because the drought had the ground so dry. I just was like, okay, they'll just stay in my basement, but I'm happy that something came up here, so I at least get to enjoy that. And this little weed I was telling you about is absolutely everywhere on the ground here, so that's going back to what I said about if you see it, pull it out before it gets established. I do have under here the strawberry plants. So these strawberry plants are the first thing that I planted in here when I made the garden. So we're looking at like 6 years, I think, now. So these plants are 6 years old. So every year they give me runners and they make new plants. So they're not the original plant, but you know how strawberries work. This is the bucket from last year. If anyone remembers seeing the one that just kept sneaking in other things, I had stuck them in the bucket and they look pretty dead. But what's funny is last time I came out here, yeah, it's still there. Remember, it had been running repeatedly into this box over here, so this actually did make a runner, which is here and here. And I will have to remove that to another spot later because I like this box for my onions and green onions. Well, mostly green onions. I don't think I have successfully done onions, but green onions are pretty kaput. But I have plenty of green onions in my kitchen that I can move out here. Sorry about my toddler. Let's see how the thyme is doing. The thyme is looking pretty dead, so I'm hoping that will come back because this was actually a few years old. It does still have life in the branches, so I'm hopeful that that's not dead. That's just kind of still in its dormant state because it kind of does that for the winter. The clematis is starting to make blooms, and my lavender is alive, which is great because I've never actually overwintered lavender. It always dies on me. I've got these beds, which are all going to have to be cleaned out, but I do want to point out, you see these big holes in here. That's actually from my dog chasing the voles. So the voles had holes all throughout here. Yeah, voles holes, haha. And my dog actually had her face down in there chasing the dang thing. So there were like a bunch of holes all around the edge of this bin because my dog was literally digging her nose through trying to get the dang things out. So maybe she spooked them out a bit, because that would be nice. I hate those things, really. They're awful. I cannot grow things like lettuces and bok choy and stuff because of the voles. Oh, looks like we have some big sinking spots over here, so I'm gonna have to get some more dirt for the spring. We already pre-planned that, but I haven't ordered it yet. I'm just doing a walk around seeing what we got going on out here. I got a little spider running from under my foot. That's creepy. Alright, they've got these darn ornamental grasses. Look, this is part of why I hate the ornamental grasses. Look at this mess. They're just a mess. They spread all over. I warn people about these things all the time. They're a plague unto themselves. I can't get rid of them. We've dug them out and dug them out and dug them out. Alright, let's see. The rosemary is still alive. Doesn't look very happy, but it does still have life in it. So right now we have a successfully overwintered rosemary and lavender, both of which I'm very happy about. Going back to the ornamental grasses for a minute, I'm going to go over here. And I want to make a point about this. So you see this tarp here? We put this down to kill the grasses. And look, they came up around the edges. They pushed the tarp out of the way and came up around the edges. So I think the wind might have blown a little bit, but we did have it pretty well down with the rocks and stuff because it stayed there all summer. So I think some of this movement is from the recent really strong winds that we've had. But I've got some kind of something there that could be a blackberry, which there is the blackberry that I planted. But we also had what could be, what are they called? Wineberries. So I've been seeing brambles coming up all over, and I do not know if they're blackberries or wineberries. I just keep hoping they're blackberries because I like blackberries. I planted blackberries. I've never gotten blackberries, but here we are. And just a bunch of weeds coming up in this one that I'll have to pull out later. And my child, I think, saw a spider or got something in his hair. I'm not really sure which. Alright, I think that's about what we've got growing in here right now. And oh, I did forget to mention we've got chives, because I didn't actually notice the chives. So we have chives. Oh, and look what's coming up back there. That is the columbine. So the columbine actually grows in here, this thing. And then it's been kind of making seeds around the pot over time, which I'm completely fine with because there's nothing else growing here and that does not bother me. I would be concerned putting columbine somewhere where you do not want it to grow. Like if you put a pot down, they do make seeds and the seeds do fall on the ground and do make more plants. So if you are fine with that, put it wherever you want. If you don't want them there, then just be mindful. And my chives are looking good. So the chives are actually kind of dense. I'm going to have to get in here with some gloves and clean this up a bit. I really don't like picking at stuff too much without gloves because there are a lot of spiders out today. Alright, hopefully that covers all the important bits of the garden. Of course, we've got the oregano. The oregano has successfully overwintered yet again. This stuff is very crazy in how it just exists. Sometimes it spreads to other places, but otherwise we just always have oregano, which is hilarious because I don't use as much oregano as I grow. I actually buy dried oregano and never use the fresh oregano because I just don't really have recipes that call for it. And my buckets are empty here that I'll have to be putting some potatoes in soon because I got lots of potatoes growing eyes in the basement. Oh, watch out, little dude. Don't step on my flowers. Alright, so that concludes my first garden tour video of 2025.